Get a little view of the city. This is the Time Warner building right here. And believe it or not, this is where Revolt TV launched from, the Time Warner building, when Revolt TV was part of Time Warner. Let me turn this around real quick. Hey, what's going on? Here's my ugly mug. I'll wait for everybody to get in. So I figured I'd show y'all the city a little bit. It is a little bit nippy out here, so I had to run over to my storage real quick and go get me a bigger jacket. This jacket ain't doing it either, but at least I got something. What's going on, Polo? Polo the Don on the check-in. What's going on, brother? Nothing much, man. Just walking through the city, man. Y'all want to see New York? I'm trying to think of a topic to talk about. I wanted to show y'all real quick. That's the Time Warner building right there. All right, congratulations or nothing, man. We got a long way to go, man. Make sure y'all hit up the Cash App if y'all can. $STRINGERBELL 80. But this is Midtown Manhattan. The only thing I got so far, I got that apartment, and I'm happy for that. I really am. But I gotta tell y'all, I ain't got shit in there. I'm about to get hit by a car. I ain't got shit in there, so I'm doing what I can. I eat fairly all right, so it's all right. Let me turn the camera on myself for a minute. So it's all right. I'm trying to find a point here to broadcast from. You know what? I'm gonna do it from right here. That way you guys can see the city and y'all can see my ugly ass mug too. So man, I threw up a couple videos. I always like to add stuff to the channel. Thank you, Polo. A real one. See what I'm saying? There's some real folks out here. I got to get more in the tempo and, talking a lot more. Polo the Don, appreciate that, man. Real G's still out here. And like I try to emphasize to a lot of people, I give to people. You know what I'm saying? Even when I ain't fucking got it. So I appreciate the same way. I put a lot of work into what I do. So, you know what I mean? It ain't easy cutting up them edits and all that. And sometimes I don't have a lot of time to do it, but I do it. I put up a video about this gentleman, Mr. Strickland. I'm gonna keep calling him Mr. Strickland because that's who he is. Y'all gotta pardon me. I'm looking around because I'm in Midtown. You're very entertaining. It's good content. Thank you very fucking much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much because I like the edits. Like to go live is nothing, but to sit back and edit everything and all that, it's very time consuming. And I'm doing it on my phone. I don't even have a computer. If I had a computer, I could do this in moments. You know what I mean? It would be like a lot more videos. Thank you very much. Yeah, only thing I'm after really is getting some new furniture and stuff. Like I tried to tell everybody before, I had 2 storage rooms, and during the pandemic, I lost one of them. It just wasn't happening. So that, unfortunately, that was the one that was higher price, and all the shit was in it. So my main shit, like the sofa, I had a beautiful Victorian sofa. I'm gonna miss that. I had a beautiful vase that was given to me. I'm gonna miss that because somebody special gave that to me. I like to think for my birthday. So yeah, it's literally nothing in there. Thank you very much, Polo the Don. I put up a video about Mr. Strickland because Mr. Strickland has spent 43 years in prison. And if you guys haven't seen the video, I actually attached that video to this one in here. I also threw up another video about Madonna, and I threw up another one about this certain female police officer down there in Virginia, which the woman sounded like she was from Jersey or something. That really sounded like a Jersey accent, the woman actually getting arrested. So if y'all haven't got to see those videos, I'm just gonna give you a quick synopsis of all 3 and hope that you will be encouraged to go watch them. And I'm gonna go live again. It's very cold out here, trust me. I wanna start at Madonna. I like what Madonna did. I like the presentation and the perseverance Madonna has endured over the years. Madonna is no joke. Like, you can say what you want to about it, but I bet you know her lyrics word for word. You know what I mean? Well, I meant to include a couple things, and sometimes that happens because I want to make sure y'all got content. One of the things I left out was why Madonna was actually protesting IG and what was the problem. The problem was this. Madonna had put up some photos earlier, and those photos throughout time are the same mantra that Madonna's always done. Madonna's always had a titty out. Madonna's always had a cheek out. And I don't remember too many photos in the past, years, especially when she was living here in New York City. So she threw up some pictures, and one of them had a nipple slit, as they call it. They like to call it a nipple slit. And her argument was, well, it's just showing my nipple. And I think I got what she was saying because daily on Instagram, and I brought it up a million times before, daily on Instagram, These motherfucking chicks just don't stop, do they? And they got the link to the OnlyFans and everything else on there. So my position on it is, if you're gonna stop Madonna and issue whatever you issue to her, then y'all need to comb through IG and Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, because they own both. And you need to look at some of the young girls that are on there that are scantily clad. Some of these girls that are on Instagram or whatever else are naked as fuck, all right? And when I mean naked, I mean naked. I've seen some pictures on IG that make your head turn and be like, how the hell did this make it through the filter? You know what I mean? So I think it was very unjust. It was very unjust towards Madonna. I'll say second, I'm glad Madonna actually made some presentation and said something about it. And she put up the photos back up, and she just put them up edited. So smart for her and good for her. Next one I want to move on is about Mr. Strickland, because I think that is real important to talk about real quick in a little bit more detail than I did on the upload. Mr. Kevin Strickland had been in jail for 43 years. Okay, 43 years. It's a long time. And everybody, I'm sure a lot of y'all know the story and everything like that. But let me tell you something about Mr. Strickland. He will not see any type of recompensation from the state of Missouri. And I know a couple people couldn't understand what I was talking about in there and within it. And I'm going to tell you what I was talking about. Mr. Strickland, unfortunately, the state of Missouri, and this is why I tell you guys about a lot of these Midwest states. Yeah, Dolo, he couldn't get it back. So a lot of these Midwest states, they have laws that have been set up that was set up eons ago. I'm talking about like when the planes were still being, you know what I mean? And so a lot of these laws have not been changed, have not been amended or whatever. Well, one of those rules is, and one of those laws is, they put in some place, I believe in either the 90s or it wasn't too long ago, that if you are convicted of a felony and you are exonerated, it depends on how you are exonerated, meaning versus DNA, which is in question here, versus actually being exonerated because of circumstances. You understand what I'm saying? Meaning that they couldn't prove, even though they had a retraction from a witness, even though they had many other things going on with them, they couldn't prove by DNA analysis, and I want to underline that, they couldn't prove by DNA analysis that Mr. Kevin Strickland was innocent. So based off that alone, he will not see any recompensation whatsoever, okay? Now, that's fucked up. Yeah, it's modern day Jim Crow laws. I swear to God, if you guys go out to the Midwest and some of the, and I'm not talking about Chicago or nothing like that, I'm talking about some of these rural ass fucking towns. If you guys go out in some of these rural fucking towns, you will realize that a lot of these states, from Mike Brown to George Floyd, all of them either happen in the Midwest or they happen in some secure, secured part of the South. They never happened in really major cities like that. Even when it happened with Eric Garner, it didn't happen in the city. It happened out in the suburbs out there in Long Island. So make no mistake about it. I think, and living in a small town myself at one time, I lived in New London, Connecticut. I'm still in Connecticut, but where I live at in Connecticut now is way bigger than New London. It's a shoreline town. And, it's a fisherman town, boats, shit like that or whatever. We grow up on boats and all that shit or whatever out there. One of the things I know about small towns is a lot of times small towns like to implement their own set of rules. They like to implement their own set of laws. They like to implement their own set of ways of doing things. And we saw that at the small town that I used to live in. And a lot of people were held a result of that. Later on, to put proof into it a little bit more, the local police department around in New London, Connecticut, ended up having a mistake made, which was they over-budgeted and overpaid a lot of these different police officers that work special events. So meaning that if the event only called for you to be out there, say like 6-7 hours, what they would actually do is they would dock themselves down for 15, you know what I mean, under that 12 hours, whatever the case may be. This would incur and give them overtime pay, all right? You do this in the course of, 5 to 6 times, even every 2 months. It becomes very lucrative. Here in New York City, they had a whole bunch of freaking what's-the-names doing the same thing here, but they work for the MTA, which is a subway. So, make no mistake about it, Kevin Strickland has been fucked, okay? And I want to emphasize that, and I'm sorry I had to put it that way, the way I'm saying it. He's been fucked because of Missouri laws and Midwest laws, period. And there's a lot of these different laws on the books in the Midwest, and I implore all you guys to go check them out. Now, this is the thing. Sometimes things come in beauty. The word got out, and I mentioned this before, and I didn't say it before. What I said was, if you see Mr. Strickland with a GoFundMe, make sure you donate to him. So I put up his GoFundMe link in the video that I put below. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attach this, once I finish live, I'm gonna attach the video in here so you guys can go check it out for yourself. If you wanna donate to his GoFundMe, you can. Mr. Strickland has been able to raise almost $1.3 million. How about that? $1.3 million. And the course of this all happened because of the information that was put out there and how Missouri and their constituency out there is so screwed up. And I don't think anybody will argue with that. A lot of these Midwest places, they got laws on the books that go back to the Plains towns, all right? At the first time that Wagoneers were going across, you know, these laws are old. And I'm not necessarily saying they need to be eradicated because the laws have to exist. We got to have rules. But I think that a lot of these laws need to be amended. There's no reason that Kevin Strickland shouldn't see any just due for being wrongfully convicted and spending 43 years of his life. Now, if you don't understand that in measure, he's 62 years old now. That means he's been in prison since he was 19. Now, right in Hartford, Connecticut, we have a group that's at Yale University. I don't live in Hartford, I live in Stanford, but in Hartford, they have had over 7 men, all different colors, released because previously they were convicted unjustly. So I'm talking about black men, white men, and Spanish men.
Oh, come on, no.
Okay? Now, if you want to throw a little bit more emphasis into it, the fucking mayor, who was Eddie Perez out in Hartford, Connecticut, he got convicted. Our former governor, who was tough on crime, Governor Rowland out of Connecticut, he got convicted. Okay? We had another one out in, I think it was New Britain. And Giordano, that was his name. He had a prostitute bringing him 14-year-old girls to sodomize. So make no mistake about it, the constituencies that go out throughout this country, there's definitely something wrong. Now, I'm glad people came together and helped Mr. Strickland raise that $1.3 million. I saw that a lot of his donators, because you can see it on his page, are white, which is really surprising. And the one thing I want to address, y'all give me 2 seconds, I'm just going to light the cigarette. The one thing that really disturbs me about Kevin Strickland is that not enough black YouTubers covered the story. I think myself and maybe 3 or 4 other guys were the only guys that I saw vividly that were covering the story of this man doing 43 years in prison and now 62 years old. Here in the state of New York, you've had probably over, I'm going to say in the past 3 to 5 years, women and men exonerated. And these women and men usually see some type of compensation. So you see the difference. In most other states and cities see some type of compensation once these men have been unjustly, you want to say, convicted. Now, Kevin Strickland, he's in a wheelchair. He's confined to a wheelchair. He's not going to be able to walk. He's not going to be able to jump into the, I guess you want to say, the normal workforce at 62. I mean, what the hell are you going to do? You're 3 years off of retirement, don't you know? So it's a conflict. Now, this man, if we want to give estimates and guesstimates, probably has maybe 30 years left on this earth. What is he supposed to do? He looks pretty immobile right now, and I'm hoping that that improves, especially with being granted $1.3 million. That gives you a lot of options. People, if you're not covering, the coins are never going to cover real stories. Yeah, social media is a gift and a curse. What if there wasn't any social media to spread these messages? Exactly. He almost got $400 on the GoFundMe. No, he got $1.3 million, brother. He got $1.3 million. $1.3 million. I'm gonna put the link, like I said, to the story. I put it up earlier today, but yeah, man, it's just amazing. He's not the only one. So only thing I want to say to any YouTuber that's watching this, or spread this around to your favorite YouTuber. I know I'm pretty popular, but other people need to be talking about Kevin Strickland, what happened to Kevin Strickland, and other men just like Kevin Strickland, no matter what fucking color they are. Because like I said, up in Hartford, Connecticut, 3 of those men were white. You understand what I'm saying? They got exonerated, convicted unjustly, or whatever. It's sad that not more black YouTubers are putting emphasis into covering real stories, especially a lot of these guys out here that call themselves real men. I always put a pause when I hear any guy, I don't give a fuck what color y'all, scream out, I'm a real man, I'm an alpha. That usually means you got low self-esteem and you pout that shit because somebody might believe it. I don't buy that shit. You know what I'm saying? Real men don't talk about they real men. Real men don't walk around talking about I'm an alpha, self-exalted. Yeah, it is. That's a lot of money, man. That's why I said to do that much time and unjustly, it very much is, man. The third story I want to lead on to is about this police officer in Virginia that I saw. And I told you guys this all the time. The bulk of my problems in a day don't come from white people. Yeah, I'll get little snaps and snibs or whatever. A lot of it's associated with a lot of things. What I find is more frequently, most of the BS I get is from black dudes and Latin dudes trying to prove themselves. Well, I'll say it again for you. Black dudes, Latin dudes, and sometimes low-class white dudes trying to prove themselves. And then when we do a comparison in Edge, and I ask you certain things like, how many stocks do you have? If your reply is none, you shouldn't even be in a conversation with me. Have you ever made 100K, at least in 1 year? If not, you shouldn't be in a conversation with me. And I always stick by that same regimen when I'm engaging motherfuckers. And the reason I do that is not to make you feel bad or make you feel sad. It's to make you give you the same energy that you tried to give me. And that's what happened in this particular situation that we saw down in Virginia. Now, I looked over this video probably 2 or 3 times now trying to figure out, okay, what exactly is going on here? What exactly, I'll try to unpack it the best way I can with what's given. What I saw was, and what I gathered was this. There was a phone call made, and the police officer said they were coming out there because they were looking for someone. Someone that I'm particularly guessing was either part of that family or frequent that house, okay? The lady that owned the house was a woman you saw in the video getting arrested. That heavy-set black woman who was a grandmother and had kids out there. That's why I said they don't care about your kids when they arrest you, so the best thing to do is like that woman did. Just chill. They're going to take you anyway. You understand what I'm saying? The courtroom ain't right there in front of those officers. They already made a decision, so they're already talking against you. What ensued was the most unprofessional shit I've ever seen in my life. The provoking that went into this story was crazy because it was actually the white police officer that was young, and she was a rookie, you could tell. And because veteran officers, they don't handle shit like that. You know what I mean? They don't handle shit like that. They don't have time to handle shit like that. So that's when you know it's a rookie trying to get a name for himself. She accosted this woman after this woman explained to her, listen, you guys are supposed to meet him at the road, not here. The woman became irate because she was talked back to, if you want to say, by this black woman. So it made her feel a certain way, obviously. She decided, next move I'm going to make is I'm going to throw you in cuffs. And you're ready to detain. But she asked repeatedly, as you see in the video, to this woman, why am I being detained? Why am I being detained? Over and over, this black woman asked, why am I being detained, right? There was never an answer given. What ensues after that is a black female police officer showing up, and that's when everything goes awry. And this is what I tell you guys before. I don't care most of the time. And listen, I've been everywhere in the United States you could think of with bad boy entertainment. I don't like black and Latin and poor white trash that work at fucking manual fucking jobs because they're always trying to prove something. They're always trying to prove something. You can go in there and be as nice as you want to, and they're gonna find some way to bend it and act like an asshole. You understand? It's just in their nature. So I expect it. You understand what I'm saying? Little do I ever let it flutter me, because if it flutters me, I'll just start filming this shit. As y'all know. I'll make some views off your ass. How much you going for this time? I average it, in the thousands. So whatever you want to do, and I don't make a complete fucking fool of you and hope the video goes fucking viral, which I've done a few times now. This woman, when she showed up, she turned and showed her ass. There's no other way to put it. And this black female police officer, instead of taking the precedence in the situation. See, that was her opportunity to show precedence. That would have actually impressed her superiors. But no, she wanted to turn up. And this is what I mean by that hood booger mentality in a professional environment. It doesn't mix, it doesn't match, it's not a vibe. And a lot of times, and I think a lot of my viewers will agree, because I've heard you guys say it before, I don't know how many times I went into an establishment and it's something small. Get a coffee. It's never nothing real. It's usually something small. Get a coffee, get a hamburger, a couple fries and shake. You know what I mean? And you go in there and Punquisha or Mario or Maria got a fucking attitude because they working at McDonald's. Well, this is your fucking career choice. This is your career choice. And I'm not knocking you for your career choice. I didn't come in here with the intention of disrespecting you, but you think off cue, you can disrespect me. And I know many of people that went through that. When that woman showed up at that location, she already had something set in her mind because the people that were there were of color and she was of color, so she felt like she had to prove herself. Y'all gotta start paying attention to this shit. She was trying to prove herself, and she was the most loud, the most rowdy. She was there threatening to fight people. At one point in the video, she grabs a gun. Oh, these are kids. And they're wondering why, after all this was discussed earlier, this is now happening. Justified question, if you ask me. And still, they were given no answer. When y'all run into people like this, when y'all run into people of the culture, quote unquote, culture, because you know people like to throw that word around. The culture ain't shit. Most of you motherfuckers don't give a fuck about each other. Let's be honest. You're narcissists, you don't care about each other, you could give a fuck if somebody got hit by a car. And that's what it is, especially here in New York. Everybody wants to be somebody. That's why I moved back to Stanford. Everybody's somebody here, trust me. You just have, after a minute, you start ignoring it. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. You know what I mean? Whatever you say, buddy. And then they pull up the squalor. You know what I mean? They literally live in squalor. Most of them. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to light this cigarette because I want to continue. I have never in my life not seen a black police officer or a black fucking hotel attendant or whatever not ready to show their ass. And I've seen enough stars put up shit, including Corey Holcomb, including like mega stars. I saw D.L. Hewley had put up something. A couple people had put up situations like this happening with black attendants, and I'm just asking why. And I think it's a fair question. You know what I'm saying, Job 4.0? I think it's a fair question. Why did you center me out? I've actually sometimes even felt it where I've gone into situations and I'm, like I said, I'm just going to get a hamburger or going to get a cup of coffee. And it's not a white person that's bothering me. It's a black person that's giving me shit. And I'm like, why? And then I had to match it up and I said, oh, okay, I'm giving you a moment of low self-esteem. I get it. I don't know how else to describe it. And anybody else that this happens to, yeah, and anybody else that this happens to, that's how you have to take it, because usually it happens to people that, and I hate to sound cocky, that are well-dressed, put themselves together, care about how they look or whatever. This doesn't come, you don't get this from street niggas. And then the other thing I hate is a lot of street dudes think everybody else is street all the time. You know what I mean? All the time. Like, I wake up hood, my nigga. Understand? Yo, what you looking at? What you looking at? Let me tell you something where they won't do that shit at. Let me tell you where they start acting right. When they see that pull up right there. When they see that pull up right there, oh, they act right. How you doing, sir? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's like talking to a different motherfucker, right? It's like talking to a different person. You know what I mean? That's when you see the real tough guys come out. Talk that shit to them. You understand what I'm saying? Talk that shit to them. And you will see a whole nother person come out these motherfuckers. Now, I'm guaranteeing you, when that woman, that black female police officer got back, sorry about that, guys. I guarantee you, when that black female officer got back to the barracks or whatever the case may be, I guarantee you she was reprimanded and people said something about her behavior. She turned a small situation, her and the other female officer, one black, one white, they turned that, and you can watch it. It's not like it's exaggerating, trying to create a narrative. Even the other officers that showed up said, yo, what the fuck is going on? We don't do shit like this, not the small shit like this. And that's where you saw the other white officer, which is the bald-head officer, and you saw the other bald-head black gentleman intervene, because these two women were bent on something else. They were bent on power and control. And that's what I talk about when I talk about this toxic feminism shit, because now it's getting into professional environments, and that's fucking dangerous. Your politics have no business at the job site. Now, I worked in Interscope, I worked at Atlantic Records, I worked at Arista and BMG. And I'm telling you, out of all those record companies that I worked for, they were distributors for Bad Boy Entertainment, none of them motherfuckers carried that shit of bringing in your politics. Now, I don't know if the job infrastructure has changed since then, or the politics within the office has changed since then, but 1540 Broadway, fuck Fifth Avenue, and none of these places have we electively, unless it was centered, like Rock the Vote, both campaigns or whatever with Puff, unless it was that, It was never any talking or discussing about politics or your political agendas or whatever in the office space. And that's what's happening now, people. You're now getting toxic feminism brought into the workplace, and I'm not happy. That's what this woman, and a lot of people will argue with me. A lot of people will say, no, that's not it, or whatever, whatever. This woman felt that she was guaranteed to act the way she acted and had conducted herself the way she did, solely off the fact that she was female. That's it. And if you watch the video, you will see she gradually starts turning up more and more and more. But she did it first with the little girls. And I said, well, you doing that with some other little black girls. What's going on here? It's disgusting. It's sad. And I just wanted to highlight that part of it. As far as other than that, I just wanted to talk about D-Money, comedian D-Money, man. R.I.P. to you. I did a story about him earlier. I'm just really doing a recap about that because I have not heard any further information about it or whatever, but there's a lot of things going on with that Young Dolph story and everything like that, and particularly myself, I don't want any parts of it anymore. You know, I cover those stories, I see what's going on with them, I see what the details is, but I'm not fucking Scooby-Doo, I'm not hopping in the mystery van and solving the case, and a lot of you guys are doing that. If you put so much emphasis into finding out why somebody died, put the same emphasis in preventing somebody's death. That's all the fuck we're saying. Unless you plan on going to sit next door to the fucking cemetery. Does that make any sense? I hope so. You know what I mean? Now, I think I might have to shut this down because I ain't playing this song right now. Y'all hear this shit in the background? What the fuck? Son of a bitch. Oh, shit. They ain't got a player. We ain't doing a YMCA over this motherfucker. Hey, girl. I'm playing, y'all. I'm playing. Oh, shit. Remind me of Troy Teray, man. Star in the morning, man. Right? Pause. Triple pause. Y'all hear that shit in the background? I swear to God. Hey, girl. I'm sorry I got interrupted. But guys, I'm just saying, man, the stories that I've been through with Young Dolph, there's so much speculation. There's so many people. Yeah, they play that YMCA shit out of nowhere, son. I just want the record to reflect. I ain't in charge of the motherfucking music. Let the motherfucker reflect. Because y'all gonna play this back and be like, yo, son, did you hear that? Yo, listen here. Real quick, I ain't in charge of the music right now. Son of a bitch. Troy Teray voice, exactly. Hey, girl. Put that where right there. You gotta have fun, man. We ain't got nothing against the LBGT community, man. Shout out to y'all. But that song right there, that shit is like the mantra song. Woo! I almost wait for the shit to pay over. Yeah, Star is, man. Shout out to Troy Teray, man, the Star motherfucker report. Damn, how far I go back with them 2013 when it was Shot 97. I think 2013, 2014. It was Shot 97, DJ Elias. See, I had already been keen to Star already, man. Let me tell y'all something about Star real quick. I'll get back to the subject. Star, really, if you really want to talk about it, Star really at the Jet magazine, and that used to be like the porn for us back in the day. Everybody remember Jet magazine? You go see the Jet Beauty of the Week or whatever. That was the antithesis for what you see now as the online models. And Star had a magazine. A lot of people in New York here remember it. It was called Around the Way magazine. That shit had chicks in there, man. Guys used to be like, yo, we would go just cop that or sitting it, like a lot of people would do it like this. They would go into the wherever they sold magazines or sold it. Usually, you know what I mean? And they would just go look, and they wouldn't look for the articles. They wouldn't look for any of that. Who's the chick for the week? And it's a typical guys, unless you're a gay man. But in my youth, you know what I mean? I like to look at fucking women. You know what I mean? And it shouldn't be anything against that. So the funny thing about it is, right? I'm so waiting for this all to go off. That magazine, a lot of people don't give it credit or act like they don't remember it, but I remember it, and a lot of people I know remember Around the Way magazine. So shout out to listening to Troy Teray for really bringing forth in the highlight, because no other magazines were doing that. The Source wasn't doing that. Double XL wasn't doing that. They didn't have a fly chick in there. I think Troy Terrain was like the last dude. Even Don Diva would have chicks in there. And then after that, Straight Stunt magazine, I don't want to take nothing away from K Slay. Shout out to K Slay, man. But yeah, I mean, like, that's it. Now, let me get back to where I was at. I had to let that goddamn music say, YMCA. I was like, hell no. I should have left this motherfucker. Woo. There have been so many stories coming out about Young Dolph and what's going on with him and how it's shaking up or whatever. One thing we do know down in motherfucking Memphis, all right, I'm about to be fully out. One thing we do know down in Memphis is this. It is off the fucking hook down there, all right? Let me get out of this music real quick, you guys. Because I really don't even want that in my feed, because if I get into my feed, they flag me. So I got to move away from it so they can barely hear it. You know what? Right now, it's a perfect place. You guys ever seen Mace's video? And y'all know that shit that's in Mace's? There it is right there. That's the shit y'all see in Mace's video right there. You know what I mean? I wasn't with Bad Boy when that happened, but I figured I wanted to show y'all this or whatever, because it's so much shit I can show y'all, man, in New York, and I'm willing to do it, but I'm just telling y'all like this. Let me go back here just in case Puff see it. Hey, T-Baby G, what's going on? Hey. So I just wanted to finish up this real quick, and because it's cold out here, and I'm about to hop on the train and get the skedaddle and hopefully give me a coffee. And y'all want to buy me a coffee or something like that? It's $STRINGERBELL 80, Stringer Bell 80. Links are in the description box. Also, if you'd like to purchase my song, you can also do that. You ain't as big as me, Poppy. You always get these guys that look like the janitor walking past. You ain't as big as me. Trust me on that. If anything you can believe, you ain't as big as me. Long story short, I've seen too many times now, right, where people go into this whole mode, or they want to solve everybody's murder, they want to do that, they want to do this, and get involved in things that don't have anything to do with them, or they say things like D-Money said. And that's unfortunately what led to his demise. D-Money, rest in peace, man, but I want to tell a lot of other people that are online, especially a lot of other bloggers like myself, they covered that story, cover other stories like it. If you don't remember, I'm one of the guys that actually pointed out, I think it was at the time that, what's his name, Mo3 had passed away. And I said, yo, you know what? It's funny as hell, but he's like the 30th guy this year. I was the first person there, and that post is still up. So I was on to this way before it started happening or whatever. And I saw what Doggy Diamonds brought up a question. What if these guys change their lyrics? Would they sell the same? Absolutely, yes, they would. And somebody being from that business, let me tell you how it's going right now. You got basically cookie cutter music, okay? Meaning it's easy to produce, it's easy to make. That's why when one of these guys drops, it doesn't matter if they're black, white, or whatever, because there's been white rappers that have died too. There was one here in New York that died of an overdose. Mac Miller's another one, died of an overdose. It's not something that's racial, has racial connections to it. It's something that has culture connections to it, okay? And the culture connections are connections that people brought, in my opinion, and I wanna actually quote Cardi B as saying this, it's depressing ass music. It really is. It's depressing music. It's easy to make. And I'm not talking about all rap because I'm a musician. But the majority of it is depressing as fuck. And when you make depressing music like that, what happens is you usually get depressing reactions, you know? That's when you get murders. That's when you get people, all that shit or whatever that comes involved with that. And it's no different than the rockers that were back in the 60s and 70s. I told a story before about Clive Davis, how Clive Davis was actually bringing, when he was at CBS Records in the 70s, he was bringing drugs to his fucking musicians. You know what I mean? This is not nothing that's changed. So the real hands that you should be pointing at, if anything, it's a culture. And you can actually change the culture by actually just demanding, hey, listen, I won't throw out a fucking album unless I could do this, that, and other, and the third. One of the things I would tell you guys is, when you're doing your clauses and your contracts, look over them thoroughly. When you see clauses, look at how much control you will have ultimately. Matter of fact, try to bargain for the most control you could possibly have going in. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is, in the long run, it's going to screw you over. And that's what I'm wondering about Young Dolph, if anything. How is his deal set up? How was his deal set up? Now, it had to be set up in a way where he was making a lot of money because he is able to buy multiple houses, which he intended to get to his kids. I think he owned something like 20 plus houses throughout Memphis and a couple other places. So make no mistake about it, financially, he was in the right avenues and he dispersed his money the right ways. So I want to give a shout out to Young Dolph and rest in peace for that. But guys, stop trying to play Scooby-Doo online. It doesn't work. What I find is with bloggers that are just as big as me or bigger than me, I like girls, man. What I find is that most of these guys, they play Scooby-Doo 7 days a week. So whoever got murdered, I got the answers. I know who did it. Look at this right here. You ain't never been to fucking Memphis, so how you know? I ain't never been to Memphis, so I don't know. I don't know the inner workings of Memphis outside of what a couple people on social media tell me or whatever. Put that energy that you put into finding out who got murdered, put that energy into finding out what you can do to prevent the next one. Put that energy into finding out how your clauses work in your contracts for your aspiring rappers, aspiring musicians, aspiring actors, aspiring whatever. Find out how those particulars matter to you in the future and how they will matter in the future to somebody else that you may be mentoring unwittingly or wittingly, you know what I mean, and find out what's really going on. Because if you don't, what you're going to find is it's going to be more Young Dolphs. That much you can believe. I'm going to take advantage of some shit real quick. Give me a second, guys. That much you can be, you know. Young Dolph, like many other brothers. Young Dolph, like a lot of other rappers, unfortunately. One of the things that happened with him is, and what I'm hearing over and over and over again, is he had a lot of static with him. And I don't want to be the judgmental type and say, oh, well, you know, he deserved it or whatever, because there's a couple people on there writing shit, talking about BNC coming and all this shit or whatever. I mean, I get what they're saying, but at the same time, people stop talking about this shit. You know what I mean? It's none of your concern. You don't know Young Dolph. You don't know his family. Leave it up to the police, Scooby. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm gonna start calling more niggas out and calling them Scooby-Doo if they keep doing the same shit. And where the fuck is my train? I'm out here working for my train. Y'all want to see New York City subway? Oh, there goes my train too. Please tell me that's the A. Let's see. Yeah, it's a C. Okay, we good. This is the New York City train system, y'all. So if y'all want to see that. And luckily enough, I got a train right here. Y'all can see the train and shit. I know a lot of y'all ain't never seen the subway before, so check out the subway. I'm fucking around talking and miss my train. That's all right, I'll catch the next one. I'll be all right. Guys, let me tell y'all something, right? And I say this with the sincerity of anything. These murders that y'all seeing, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. These murders that you're seeing, these record companies don't care about these guys, all right? Matter of fact, the guys that were rocking with them, unless they're family or people they grew up with or people they had hired, most of the time they don't give a shit about these guys, okay? These guys are dispensable. And it's more enough time to talk about it in a better sense. They're not dispensable based on the white record labels. Yeah, I spoke about this before. They're dispensable because of a lot of the people that are around them that help them get the deals, a lot of the people that hang on with them, spend their money up, buy things for them, whatever. A lot of these guys that are around them are the same exact fucking color they are. A lot of these guys around them are seasoned professionals. It's no different than you get a hustler on the block, and he's the OG hustler on the block, and he goes gets the young boys and puts them on the block. Now the young boys is working for him. You understand what I'm saying? That's the same situation right here as concerned when we're talking about the rap industry. And I know it because I've seen it. You know, I've seen guys, and I ain't gonna say what record label, it wasn't Bad Boy Entertainment, but I've seen guys get signed. Hold on 1 second, guys. There's another train right there. Watch me see another train. I've seen guys literally get signed, and they will sign these guys strictly for the purpose of shelving these guys. Meaning, your album, when's your album come out? January of never. You know? And these guys will sit there and they'll be locked into these deals, and now they're locked into deals. They can't tour. It's even harder to tour right now because of the pandemic. Not only can they not tour, the only money that they will get usually is endorsements, maybe even some type of, I don't know, if you got some kind of clothes you're selling or something like that, you get some money. That's one of the primary reasons why I put my song out and sell my song. So guys, if you want to purchase that song, you go to my description box. Just go right down below. It's an upside triangle. Hit that, and you're going to see actually 4 links. So you're going to see one link for my Cash App. That's Cash App $STRINGERBELL80. That's Stringer Bell 80. It's also a PayPal link in the description box in case you don't have Cash App. If you use my link and sign up for Cash App, you'll get some money back. There's also a third link. That third link has a trailer for my song, and then the 4th link that you see is actually so you can purchase the song. So you click that link, and after that link and you purchase, there will be another link that pops up. Click that link and your download will start automatically. So that's how you purchase or whatever. And make no mistake about it, you can buy more than one copy, buy a couple copies, you know what I'm saying? But my goal, and I can look you guys in the face, I think I can sell 3,000 more. I think I can sell 3,000 copies. So I want to just start a minimum goal, 3,000 copies. Let's get it done, man. I think we can fucking do it. You know what I mean? I have thousands of people that follow me, as y'all can see. So it's like, and I'm not talking about mid-thousands. I'm heading into the tens of thousands now. So it shouldn't be hard to get 3,000 copies sold. So tell a friend, buy one. You don't just have to buy one copy at that price. You can buy 4 or 5 copies. If you want to add some more on, you can as well. You know what I mean? If you don't prefer to donate. I know some people, they'd rather buy the single than donate. Some people would rather donate to buy the single. So, you know, I want to give everybody that option. Stop digging into Young Dolph's death. Stop thinking that these record companies is all fault of the white execs, because it's not. Because these white execs are being bought, these artists, from black execs, from Latin execs, okay? I was in that business for 17 years. I know the ins and outs of it. I know contractual agreements. I know clauses in contractual agreements, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, little old me. And as you can see, there's more than enough people in the music industry to validate that shit. You know what I'm saying? So make no mistake about it. Shout out to Big Face Gary. Shout out to Sean Prez, Bad Boy Entertainment. Shout out to Big Face Gary, formerly of Rockefeller Records, and many others that Dale Harrison, a couple other people that know me, Tabitha Duncan from Cut Close, that's Keith Sweat's ex-group. I was just watching Tabitha last night. You see this, Tabby, you was looking amazing, killing the vocals, and I like now that you're helming Keith Sweat's part in Nobody and the other song, I think it even sounds better because you just really worked on it. The pandemic really shut a lot of people down performance-wise, even myself, you know what I mean? So luckily we got mirrors and you know, you got fields. I did a little bit of everything out of Connecticut. I used to go down to, I still do it. I still used to go down to the pavilion. I would practice singing there in front of, because people walk back and forth past me. You know what I mean? So, and I would notice people would stop, and there'd be certain people that would stop and listen, and you know, certain people would give me praise, whatever. I don't give a shit. I got music out available. You know what I mean? I think the most emphasis I can put on when I talk about not only Young Dolph, but the industry is this, and I emphasize this to you when I try to persuade you to go buy my single, is this. I'm doing this by myself. No record label, no management, no production team, no more Quad Studios, no, none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? No Daddy's House Recording Studio, none of that. So I'm doing this on my own. And I need y'all support. So buy the single if you can. Also, I have some more merch available. I niched every last one that I created, and I said I'm gonna start over. So I'm gonna grab y'all something else. I will be back live with you guys in a little bit, maybe. Hold on, let me see here. Oh no, that's not my train, so I still got time. Starting your own shit requires a lot. It took me probably, I don't know, 2 weeks to figure out how to sell that goddamn song on my own without using some outlet. Like, you know, there's different outlets you can use. I can use Tidal, I can use Spotify, I can use a lot of those different outlets or whatever. The problem is with all those outlets that I'm talking about as vehicles, they're all going to charge you a portion. The vehicle I'm using right now is charging me a portion, but it's charging me the least of the portion that those agencies would. So, and a lot of those agencies, they're doing it at a monthly subscription. And one thing I am going to do is we're going to be taking some of the lives and everything like that and throwing them up for audio use. So that was something hold on one second, guys. That was something I did before when I was doing radio with OG Mac Drama out in Arizona. Shout out to OG Mac Drama. Shout out to D-Tech from Convict Music. D-Tech, what's going on? One of the things I did when I was on the radio with Mac Drama for the 2 years was all that stuff was audio. You understand what I'm saying? So none of it was visual or none of that or whatever. And I think it would have added more to it had it been visual or whatever. But shout out to OG Mac Drama, man. 1050 radio out there. Shout out to them boys. They're doing a great job. And I just want to give a shout out to them just in general. Now, I see a lot of people support things, support a number of things. I've seen people give $300, $400, $500 to certain individuals or whatever, and think nothing about it, and then tell me, oh, everybody ain't got it like that. Okay. Well, I'm not seeing it. And then furthermore, not only I'm not seeing that, you know what I'm saying? I'm not believing that. So, guys, purchase that single. That's all I got to say about that. Pull back a little bit from Young Dog and the whole situation that's going on with Young Dog. Pull back from a lot of situations going on with people who died, passed away, or whatever. You are not Scooby-Doo. Y'all do not have the mystery van. Velma is not showing up. So leave it the fuck alone. Let the police do their job. You understand what I'm saying? If you're going to put some emphasis in things and you're going to put some emphasis into finding out who and what's going on, I would encourage you to do this. There's a man right now out, I believe, in Arizona, who his son has been missing. Young black son has been missing for quite a while now. In fact, a lot of people, and I talked about this before, Gabby Petito's case actually, I don't want to say outshined it, because I'll just say it shucked it more in the deck for being forgotten. Does that make sense? And there was a lot of things that came out of this case, you know. And this man now has the help of other veterans, thank God. You know what I mean? Shout out to veterans. Thank you for your service. These veterans, because this man is a veteran, this black gentleman I'm talking about, going out there with him and offering him, you know, all kinds of different vehicles and teamwork, you know, real, if I had to point out, definitely, you know what I mean, very cool, you know what I mean? So shout out to all 6 branches, military, never want to forget them. My whole family's military, I always point that out a lot. Right, it's day and night. They trying to solve the case. Reminds me of Kanika Jenkins. It was the same thing with Kanika Jenkins, exactly. They were all trying to solve the case, and I'm like, well, what notoriety did you get out of solving the case? Absolutely nothing. You get nothing out of it. I can tell you right now, I saw 3 or 4 guys in particular, and I unsubscribed to 2 of them because at first I thought they had real good content. And then they started with that sissy shit. I know who did it, girl. You know what I mean? That's basically how it sounds. I know who did it, girl. These is guys. You know what I'm saying? And when Alpo died, I remember this one guy, he had probably 15 broadcasts talking about Alpo. Like, he knew Alpo, hung out with Alpo. He didn't even live in New York. And he made his whole diatribe for the next couple of days about this Alpo situation, only because it was trending. And I was like, you gotta move outside of trying to get the scoop and trending on certain stories or whatever, start paying attention to shit that matters. And the shit that matters, and I'm not trying to be funny, it's not you solving a murder. The thing that matters, when you're doing it for all the wrong reasons, I'm doing this for the hood. Let me tell y'all something about that hood shit. I got 2 friends of mine. Y'all know I don't come from that shit, all right? I grew up very well. I even against the odds right now, I still look pretty good in Stanford, all right? So make no mistake about it. When I say this, I mean this with aplomb, and I mean this with sincerity. A lot of y'all don't come from houses that made any more than $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a year, okay? A lot of y'all. A lot of people in the culture are like that too. A lot of these people, they grew up in public housing and things like that or whatever. I know that. There's some good people that come out of public housing. I can name many of them that became successful. Jay-Z comes to mind. That's not the point. The point is this. Out of those people that come out of the hood, they start having this almost dedication to that shit. You understand what I'm saying? No matter where I'm at, I need to start something with another man of color because I'm a coward to start a problem with anybody else. And this is what I talk about a lot of times when you get a lot of these black men, black women, Latin men, and Latin women, they get into these little minuscule positions that they believe are power. Homie, you work as the fucking hotel attendant. You're the janitor. You cook food at McDonald's. You understand? And I'm not trying to tell you, hey, stay in your place or anything like that or whatever. But the attitudes these motherfuckers have online is just appalling. You know, I'm that bitch, I'm getting the bag. What you do? I work at McDonald's third shift. I ain't getting the bag. Why can't we wait on police reports? Exactly, I agree with that. At this point, they lie and make up things for views and cash out. Exactly what they do, Queen Keish. Right, it's day and night. They're trying to solve this case. Reminds me of Kanika Jinx. She said at this point, and that's the problem I really have too, because listen, and I hope you're still here, Queen Keish. I wanted to point that out. Go back to my videos if you're new here, whatever. I actually was homeless. You understand what I'm saying? The pandemic, breaking up with my ex, being assaulted by my ex, a lot of things brought those things on. And it stayed like that for almost 2 years. You understand? Even at that time, I still got out of work. I busted my ass. You know what I mean? I never, one time, once I went live about my story, and I think my story resonated with more people because of the background of the music industry and everything like that or whatever. And I think another thing was that I got on here and I started talking about how these sissy men are out here nowadays and these masculine ass women as well. And the masculine women raise sissy ass sons. You understand? And these guys that get on there, to me, they're sissies. You know, and there's nothing wrong with saying that. This is sissy behavior. Sissies get on and continue to gossip about shit. Sissies do shit like they do in the fucking nail salon, you know? So anyway, guys, my train's here. Unfortunately, I got to get up out of here, but I will be back with you guys in a little bit. Why can't we do? And yeah, I agree with all that. So guys, donation links in the description box or whatever. I don't do that for that. I actually run a channel. So guys, make sure you do that. $ STRINGERBELL80. Also, there's a PayPal link at the bottom of the description box. Also, if you'd like to purchase my single, you can do so by clicking that same description box and going to the third and the fourth link. One will be a trailer and the other will be your purchase link. Wait for your purchase link download after you purchase. Guys, I will see you in a minute because it's going to cut off for me. Later.